And put the beats up, and we should be ready to go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes. Welcome to the Surrounded by Details podcast with me, Stevo. I am your host, and I am your photographer in need. Before we begin, as always, this podcast is brought to you and supported by the Dreamcatcher Hostel, Bar and Cafe here in Bangkok. So if you're visiting the Land of Smile, Thailand, you most likely fly in via Bangkok, the true city of angels, and you probably also need a place to crash. So make sure to get your booking with Dreamcatcher Hostel, and even you don't need a place to crash. If you just want to be in the city without sleep, which is very much possible, then just pass by the Dreamcatcher, because it's a cool atmosphere. It is a good place to be and enjoy a couple of craft beers. Something I did recently with Brian Bartush in episode 129. You can go back, listen to that, or to our latest episode 130 with the new featherweight world champion of the One Championship promotion, Martin the Situation Nagin. So go back and listen to that. But today we're gonna do something different. We're gonna watch, of course, the Mayweather versus McGregor fight. And I was supposed to actually go to a bar here in Bangkok, but unfortunately I was working late last night, so I woke up a little bit too late and didn't really make it, because the place where I was supposed to go is on the other side of town. So I decided just to start a stream podcast with myself. Nobody here today. Normally when we do something like this, like a phone companion, where I call up my friends or athletes or just people who are involved in the mixed martial arts scene around here in Asia, we just talk and watch the fights. But today I'm by myself because everybody is out and watching, and to be honest, I'm quite happy actually that I'm not in a pub or bar to watch the fights. I'm quite happy to just be here by myself, enjoy the fights, because there has been so much hype around this fight that I'm kind of happy that it's finally time to go down. I mean, not only because of all the hype up, but also because we want to see the fight. But I'm also happy that it's over after this. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. There can be loads of talk going on before the fight, but in the end, it comes down to now. You can say this or that, or that or this. It comes down to the fight, and as much as you plan, as much as you analyze, you don't know what is about to happen. So here we are, Mayweather versus McGregor at the Surrounded by Details podcast with me. Let's cross our fingers, hold our thumbs that this is at least a little bit enjoyable for the people who are listening. And if you are listening on iTunes, Podbean and Stitcher, where you can download all our episodes for free, audio only, but it is for free, so shut the fuck up. On the other hand, we're only recording audio at the moment. We are about to move to a new studio, coming soon, September most likely. It's gonna be an exciting month. But my point was, if you're listening on Stitcher, SoundCloud or iTunes or Podbean or maybe even YouTube, make sure to give us a subscribe. Give us a like, leave us a comment, do whatever you need to do, and do whatever you want to do. We appreciate all the support that we can get. You can also find me on social media, of course, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. But Twitter I don't really use. I still haven't figured out. It is not my platform, to be honest. But I try my best. That's the most important. Twitter for me is a little bit like a participant trophy. I'm there, thanks for the trophy, but yeah, I don't really care. What I'm trying to say, also give us a follow there, because everything counts. And if you're not a social media person or a YouTuber or a iTunes guy, then just go on my website www.stevbonhage.com in order to find the best MMA photography in Asia, maybe the world, maybe even the universe. We don't know. That is judgment that I leave to you. However, it is almost time here for the main event. There's a few more interviews going down. My stream is holding up so far. I'm very happy about that, because normally I'm always one of those people who are unlucky with live streams. Doesn't really work out for me. Yesterday as well, I was trying to follow Bayern Munich versus Werder Bremen, and yes, I'm talking football, not American football, I'm talking European football. Because I decided I want to follow it a little bit more. I used to be a big fan when I was a kid, and then I always followed football. But since I came to Asia 4 years ago, I kind of lost that, because the time zone difference, and people are not really that much into football here, even though it's very present and always live streamed at some sports bar. But I don't know, somehow I didn't really follow it. I mean, I checked the results here and there. But for this season I decided I want to go back a little bit more into it. Which is going to be tough, because I'm going to be on the road a lot. And also next week for One Championship Shanghai, I'm going to, as always, do the photos. We have the welterweight belt on the line between, what's his face? Ben Askren. Ben Funky Askren, considered to be the best wrestler to ever step in the cage / octagon, versus Sebastian Kadestam from Sweden, who knocked out Luis Santos with a vicious knee in Singapore in May, I believe it was. And if you haven't seen that, make sure to YouTube that and get yourself a little bit of awesome entertainment, where he was the underdog, Kadestam, and he was behind in the fight, but then in the last round, that knee. I'm still happy that Luis Santos kept his head on his shoulders, that the head didn't flow off. But here we are, Ben Askren versus Sebastian Kadestam. Once again, Kadestam is the underdog, which in this situation actually benefits him, I believe. Because if you're Ben Askren, you're undefeated, you have the belt for a very long time, and you have this reputation of being one of the best welterweights on the planet. There's a lot of pressure on you. Because it's the same with McGregor versus Mayweather here. Everybody kind of knows that Mayweather is the better boxer. In the other case, Ben Askren is the better person in the cage against Kadestam. So you have a lot to lose. It's not like Nate Diaz versus McGregor, where Diaz wins and then, oh yeah, McGregor, you were the way better fighter, but you fucked up and you lost. It's a tricky situation. However, I'm looking forward to go to Shanghai. I'm picking up my visa on Monday. Excuse me. Here at the Chinese embassy in Bangkok. And I have to say, for the people who care, and even for you who don't care, the Chinese embassy in Bangkok has developed massively. It's now way easier to get your visa. Quick in, quick out. And on Monday, I'm gonna pick it back up, and then on Wednesday I am gonna make my way to Shanghai. The first time in Shanghai for me. I've been there before, but only for a layover, even though the layover was somewhere between 7 and 8 hours. I believe I was coming from Korea 4 years ago. Almost exactly 4 years ago. Time goes fast. With that being said, Mayweather versus McGregor about to happen in just a few minutes. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen. I'm very excited, and I repeat myself, there has been so much talk going on that it is finally the time to see what's happening. What do you think? How is this gonna play out? Let me know. As always, we are having a chat section in our live stream on the right hand side, where you can type us a message, a question, or whatever you want to type. I know there's a lot of people on the internet who just type for the sake of typing. If you want to do that, if you want to be one of those people, then go ahead, be one of those people. Because whoever you want to be, you should be that person. Doesn't mean that I have to agree or that other people have to agree. However, I'm drifting off and basically just trying to survive the commercial break that is going on at the moment. The build-up is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. As many might not know, and I'm being sarcastic here, there were actually a few fights on the card except for the main event, Mayweather versus McGregor. All boxing matches, and I tried to watch, but even though I used to be not a boxing fan, but I used to watch boxing with my dad a lot, so it was quite entertaining, but I have to be honest, after getting into mixed martial arts, MMA, boxing has become a little bit boring, even though it's more technical, I believe. But I could be talking out of my ass. Yeah, I'm a photographer who likes sports, and I like to get involved in the sports that I work with. Unfortunately, I never really had the chance to shoot boxing. I tried a couple of times, because in Germany the Klitschko brothers are huge, and we had Sven Ottke, we had Henry Maske, and a few other fighters that were not too shabby. So yeah, that was one direction I tried a couple of times, but it is a business hard to get into. Boxing, there's a lot of media, there's a lot of stock photo agencies around, so it's not always easy to get that spot unless you are in that stock photo agency or news agency, which nowadays, of course, for the client is always easier to hire, because you don't need to hire your own photographer. You just get over the news agency, you get some photos, and you get it spread for you, and you get your news out there without really doing anything. But that is what I love about working for One Championship, because it's a little bit different there. They also highly value their own footage, which means my time to shine. I shoot editorial for them, the fights, behind the scenes, portraits, all this kind of stuff. I enjoy it very, very much, and I also enjoy the work of my colleagues David, Ash on the cage side with me, and then we have above it all the most handsome photographer in the Philippines, as One Championship CEO Victor Chui once mentioned when we had him on the podcast while we were in China. Dukes Carvajal, he is on top of the cage. He is taking photos of all the action that you can find on One Championship's live stream on Facebook. So all these images are from him. Why do I mention those two? Because first of all, they're my colleagues. Second of all, I always think that photographers get a little bit or too little credit. I mean, after all, we're just doing our job just like other people, but we are creating memories not only for the fighters but also for the audience. So if you can't watch, you look at the images. So photographers, they work a lot. We put a lot of energy in there. Except for Dukes, because he's on top of the cage. He's just taking pictures and then passing on the card. I'm just joking. I'm talking out of my ass to pass some time. A few minutes to go on my live stream that I'm watching. They are showing a fight from September 12th, 2015. Floyd Mayweather versus Andre Berto in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Of course, in Nevada, the US of A. They just want to pass some time, just as we want to pass some time. And I have to say that I'm not having a very good time with taxis in Bangkok at the moment. I mentioned it on my podcast with Brian Bartosz. I was getting a taxi and I was mentioning my place of destination to the driver, and I went to the back to open the trunk, couldn't open it, so I knocked on the trunk so the driver knew, can you open the trunk so I can put my luggage inside, and he just drove off. He just drove off. I don't even mind that he just drove off, but you can't imagine how stupid I must have looked to all the other people, because I was standing on the road and I was having my luggage in my hand, and yeah, basically just waiting to open the trunk, and then he just took off. It's weird, but that is something that can happen here in Bangkok to you quite regular actually, because there's a lot of cab drivers that just decide not to stop, or they don't want to go where you want to go, which in my opinion is a little bit weird, because you want to make money. You want to put food on the table, and then you just have taxi drivers who just refuse to go because they just don't want to go. Without any particular reason, because it might be no traffic at all. I know it doesn't happen often here in Bangkok, but if you take the taxi in the evening after 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m., you are having a good time on the road, not too many traffic jams. So I don't know what's going on. Some say it's racism going on here in Thailand, and that is true. A lot of taxi drivers don't even stop if they see that you're a foreigner, which I kind of get, because if you are a taxi driver in the wrong area here in Bangkok, there's a lot of backpackers, a lot of drinking going on, combine drinking and backpackers. You will get something very, very annoying, and that happens more and more here in Bangkok, because the tourist zones are extending, the city is growing, tourism is growing. I mean, Bangkok is the most visited city in the world, so of course you have a lot of people here, and of course you get tired, because often, sadly, Bangkok gets reduced to sex tourism and all this kind of stuff, but there is so much more to discover. I recently had a friend here, Antoine Chirard. He's coming back on September 12th. He is in Japan right now. Last time I spoke to him on the podcast, he was cycling somewhere in Afghanistan, I believe it was. However, he's coming back September 12th, so we're gonna talk to him. My point is that he was here 4 years ago, and he came back now for a wedding. We went to a cafe, we had some food, and played some football the other night before they went down to the island. And he too said Bangkok is more than I can remember. It's cleaner now, it's more modern, and that's a side that a lot of people don't really see with Bangkok, because they stay at these backpacker alcohol places like Koh Sam Road or the main tourist areas in Sukhumvit, the main road here in the center of Bangkok. So yeah, there is loads more to experience, and we are still waiting for Mayweather versus McGregor. The fight of the century, they say. The biggest fight of all time, they say. The fight that is supposed to beat Mayweather versus Pacquiao, they say. But we will see. I hope the arena is filling up, because when I was watching the first couple of fights, the prelims, the warm-up fights, call it whatever you want to call it, the arena was very, very empty, and it looked to me like everybody is really just there for that main event. They don't really care about the other fights, and as far as I could see, again, I was not really following it. It was on while I was having brekkie and coffee, but I don't know, I had no idea about the other fights, and it looked to me like nobody really cared to actually announce a real proper card. The main event made all the work, so there was no need to really put on a whole card with all the fighters. Talking about cards, something that is in focus of my attention, or has been ever since the fight has been announced, is the actual poster of Mayweather versus McGregor. And I have to say, I'm a little bit, or more likely, let me take this over again. I'm very, very disappointed in the artwork of the poster, of the official poster, of the flyer, because if you have a fight like this with millions of bucks being made and put into this, I was very, very disappointed with a simple black and white profile photo poster. That's one thing I love about One Championship, and also about the UFC. They always put a little bit more attention to the actual posters, so that is always something that pleases me to share on my social media. But here, with this flyer, I wouldn't even come close to thinking of sharing it on my social media. And as I speak, we are seeing a woman singing, most likely, the Irish national anthem, which seems to be a big deal. I never really got the idea of people being proud of their country. George Carlin put it best. I'm a big fan of stand-up comedy, and he said it best once. Why being proud of random luck by DNA. Because you should be proud of something that you have accomplished, and that nature puts you in a certain country is not really accomplishment of you or from you. It is an accomplishment by nature. So when people say I'm proud to be American, or I'm proud to be German, or Irish, or one of the other many countries in the world, I never really get that. It doesn't make sense to me. And you can be happy, for sure. I mean, I'm happy that I grew up where I grew up and had the possibilities given to me that were given to me. And yeah, I feel lucky. Lucky is the right term, I believe, to say. But to be proud of coming from a country doesn't really make sense. However, the national anthem is going. The announcement is in full effect. I see some titties in the background of the announcer. It's a perfect framing, because you have the announcer and then you literally just saw shoulder to stomach there from the ladies who were in the back. And now we have Demi Lovato singing the American anthem. And the Corona girl with the belt in the background, the money belt. I'm not really sure what to think about that. It's kind of interesting, it's kind of fun, and I mean, if you win the money belt, what does the money belt stand for? The guy who wins makes the most money? I don't think so. Because Mayweather is clearly making more than McGregor, which in my opinion doesn't really have shit to mean, because McGregor is still younger and he can still reach that level even though he's not there yet. I mean, he's only 28 or 29. While Mayweather is 40, so he is still very early in his career and he can make a lot more money. But the money belt, the belt itself, should be about now, should be about this fight. So they should have come up with something else. The Trash Talk King. Or something like this. I have no idea. Let me know what you think. As always, we have a live chat going on the right hand side of this live stream podcast while I am watching the fight. If the fight is ever gonna go to happen. Because something that is annoying, but at the same time, it wouldn't be the same without. It's all the introduction, it's the walk-ins, all this kind of stuff makes a fight. It belongs to fighting to me. And seeing Demi Lovato, I recently had the conversation with a friend. I'm totally out of date when it comes to new music. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old, but somehow music is not what it used to be anymore. Even though there's loads of new music coming out, but we are talking about mainstream music, all this kind of stuff. It's very annoying to me, so I kind of gave up on it and don't really follow anymore. So what am I trying to say? I think I never really heard a song from Demi Lovato. She looks fine though. Give that to her. And more announcement is to be made. Corona girls are to stand around a little bit more. I'm looking forward who Mayweather is gonna walk out with. Justin Bieber was not an option, as I heard. I don't know what's going on between him and Justin Bieber. Another intro is going on while I speak. Yeah. So taxis, music, Demi Lovato, whatever her name is. Come on, people, bring it on. They're showing some pictures of working out and warming up. That was a weird pronunciation on these two things. I wonder if McGregor is gonna go back to MMA after this fight, because if he wins, he has already his next fight lined up. I mean, we all know what's his name? The guy who went to the training camp and then got knocked out by McGregor. I mean, it's kind of already set up. And there we go. Mr. Conor McGregor, the Notorious, is walking out. He looks a little bit nervous. He pushes his security guard a little bit to the side there. He has the Irish flag around his neck as always, but I think it's something, even though he's highly professional, and these are the situations, the moments where he shines, where he can totally reach his potential. I think this is something new for him, because this is a massive fight. This is something completely new, and it's weird to see Conor McGregor with boxing gloves on, and he chose white. I don't know. I don't know why he did this, because I really like the gloves that he had during his training sessions with the Irish flag on. That really fit him. But it's weird to see him with big gloves, because you're used to see him in MMA gloves and also in the shoes, and he's stepping into the ring, not into the cage this time. But as always, he takes his time, says hello to the crowd, walks in, does his little walk, looks confident, but at the same time he doesn't look as confident as he normally does. I think it's getting a little bit to him, the attention, whatever is on the line. Now I start to feel some butterflies in my stomach. You can see the Irish fans. Of course, there's Irish people all over the place, I can imagine. Also here in Bangkok at the sport bars, I can imagine they are packed with Irish people, because there's a lot of Irish people traveling around Southeast Asia. Where was I? Oh yes, now I actually start to get some butterflies in my stomach, because what is he gonna... How is his stance gonna be? Is he gonna have a normal boxing stand, or is he gonna be in a weird stand position? And it's so many questions, ladies and gentlemen, and I could keep going forever and ever and ever, but we are all about to see. If you're not about to see what's gonna happen, then once again, welcome to the Surrounded by Details podcast, where myself and I, Stevo, your host or your photographer in need, is gonna talk out of my ass while I was or am watching the fights. Photographer in need, if you wonder why I do say that, that is because I am a freelance photographer based in Asia, and I work for One Championship, which is basically the UFC version of Asia. But there's one huge difference. We don't really have all this kind of trash talk going on that you have at the UFC. Here in Asia, it's all a little bit more about honor and respect. So if you're all about trash talk, it's not your place. But if you're about good fights, great athletes, then make sure to tune in, especially on September 2nd, when we have One Championship Shanghai coming up, of course, in Shanghai, for the welterweight world championship belt between Ben Askren and Sebastian Kadestam. It's gonna be a very interesting fight. Ben Askren called out the Swedish man, quote, when he won against Agilan Tani, the Malaysian young talent. But that was a quick fight. I think Agilan was not ready yet. He was a little bit nervous, I believe, too, because out of the sudden you stand in front of a person like Ben Askren, who is supposed to be one of the best welterweights all over the world. So yeah, I can imagine that that is intimidating. Now we have the tail of the tape. We have Mayweather, 40 years of age, versus McGregor, 29. The rules are as following: no 3 knockdown rule, no standing count, cannot be saved by the bell in any round, only referee can stop the fight, and of course Conor McGregor's left hand can stop the fight as well, and fight official after 4 rounds. What is that supposed to mean? If McGregor knocks out Mayweather in the first round, it's not an official fight? Maybe I was misreading that. I don't know. The arena is empty. I mean dark. Excuse me. It's definitely not empty. Most likely sold out. Lights down. We have the announcer doing his thing. The Corona girls in the back haven't moved an inch. They are still standing. in the very same position. I really like the cornerman of McGregor, all in the Irish pub outfit. I would call it pub outfit. I'm not sure if I can actually, if that's actually the correct term for it, but they have the vest on, they have their suits on and their shirts. They come with style, not like the meatheads of Mayweather, and nothing against Mayweather, but the people he surrounds himself with, it's a bunch of meatheads. That is for sure. Robert Byrd is gonna be the referee in charge on this epic fight. I can't imagine how many people around the world are watching right now as we speak. Many have been waiting for this fight. Many have been waiting for this fight out of the reason because they want to see what's going on. They want to see the spectacle, and many, have been waiting for this fight to finally get over. That's the feeling I had the last couple of days, because Mayweather versus McGregor articles, wherever you go, whatever you read, especially on the World Wide Web, it was getting very annoying. So I'm very, very happy that it is finally time. Conor McGregor is making his professional debut, and he fights, of course, out of Dublin, Ireland. That was the shittiest Irish attempt of an accent ever. We see Conor McGregor's photographer friend there in the back, a person that I don't know. I've been watching him, I've been following him a little bit. From a photographer perspective, you are given a subject like Conor McGregor. It's hashtag not a native English speaker. It's basically like a baby you can't really miss because everything is epic, but there is not much creativity around that photography. And if you really want to see creativity when it comes to photography on a sport journalism level or on a reportage level or journalism level in general, then of course visit my website www.stevebonhage.com, STEVBONHAGE.com. You can find creativity there as well. I was trying to make a joke, but I always like to recommend the Magnum Photo Agency from New York, where you have some of the best photographies from the journalism world, sports world. Muhammad Ali, a beautiful series available by the Magnum Agency from New York. It's a great place for creative photos. Make sure to visit them, give them a like, and no, I don't get paid for this. I just make a plug to great stuff. That's also why I linked you to my website. And once again, www.stevebonhage.com, STEVBONHAGE.com, for the finest MMA photography from Asia, maybe the world, maybe even the universe, and something that I really enjoy. And by the way, I haven't mentioned that on any podcast, is that the Lethway event in Yangon on September 8th is postponed to October or November. More information will follow soon. If you don't know what Lethway is, it is the most brutal martial arts in the world. The art of 9 limbs, as they call it. Headbutts allowed, everything allowed. I'm the official photographer for one of the biggest, no, it's the biggest Lethway promotion in Yangon, Myanmar. Unfortunately, there is swine flu going on, H1N1 at the moment, so just for the fighters, athletes and spectator safety, they wanted to make sure that nothing like this is around when the next event is gonna happen, and it's crazy. So here we go, we have the referee going through the rules. I'm sure nobody's really listening to them anyway. Mayweather is laughing, smiling, having a good time, while Conor McGregor is focused, and I don't know what to say, ladies and gentlemen. It is finally about to happen. It's not like John Jones versus Daniel Cormier, where everything falls apart only few hours before the fight. And then a couple of weeks after the fight in this case, or in the latest case, as you probably heard, John Jones popped for steroids one more time. Well, it's the first time he popped, and there we go! Conor McGregor is being offensive immediately, pushing Mayweather against the ropes. It looks so weird, man. It looks so weird to see Conor McGregor boxing He has not the typical boxing stand. He has a little bit, it's a small mix. Switching, we will see. Mayweather is taking it easy. Of course, as we know, he's one of the best defensive boxers of all time. Mayweather in golden black shorts, golden boots, while McGregor is in white. Completely white. That looks weird. He looks really white in this fight. Hashtag no racist. If you have any predictions about the fight, what you think the outcome will be, if you maybe even watch the fight while you are listening to this podcast, or if you're listening to this podcast after the fight, please let me know what your thoughts were when you saw Conor McGregor for the very first time stepping into the ring. Yeah, where should I start? There's so many questions. Conor McGregor going for 12 rounds instead of 3/5 rounds should be a little bit more difficult, and Conor McGregor is doing his Eddie Alvarez pose with his hands behind the back. Conor has a quick reaction, that is for sure. He has his little MMA jab. He doesn't really jab, he's just checking his distance, getting into the groove, while Mayweather is being calm. But I think no matter what you say, I still think you get nervous, even if you're 49-0, even if it's just for the 4 seconds. A lot of people said this fight is gonna be dirty, if there's gonna be action against the rope and pushing down the head and this kind of stuff. So far so good. Yeah, they're just trying to get their distance, and here I am trying to be a boxing commentator, and my stream just stopped in the middle of a left hook, as it seemed, but the stream is back on. Both are still standing. That is the worst that could happen. If something is about to go down, then shortly before your stream just stops and then it comes back to life and somebody is on the canvas. That would be the worst case scenario for this fight, or for the stream. However, I'm wondering what is gonna happen. Not only in the fight, I also mean afterwards, because if McGregor goes all the 12 rounds, I think a lot of people agree that would be a victory. Doesn't matter if he loses by decision after 12 rounds or whatever the result is gonna be. If he survives against Mayweather, that would be a success. And he landed the left hook that I was just talking about. I see the replay as we speak. That went in there. I would almost say the first round goes to the Notorious, but a lot of people forget. If you throw a lot, doesn't mean you score a lot. Because if you block the punches that are coming at you, that scores in boxing as well. So it's both a mix of defense and offense. And I'm looking, but I can't no, there he is, the coach, the father of Floyd Mayweather, recently stated in a interview on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani that he might not be in Mayweather's corner, which is, again, a lot of bullshit. I don't know what it is, but with fighting, it's like politics. There's a lot of talking, a lot of drama going on, and once again, my stream has stopped. It's back to life. However, we see the same situation. Conor gets a warning, the same situation as we did in the first round. Mayweather is backing up a little bit. Conor received a warning there because he was giving a few shots on the back of the head as Mayweather was ducking. The fight is back at the center of the ring as we speak. It's weird to say ring because normally it's a cage or octagon. Now we are in the ring, even though it's a square. So many weird things about fighting, and yes, that's just me trying to be funny, but I always wondered why they have a championship belt, because it's a belt that you can't wear anyway, so why not just do rings like they have in the NFL? You can wear them, people can see it immediately, but you cannot really go out on the street with a huge ass motherfucking belt. Conor looks very comfortable in the ring, and Mayweather is being patient, a little bit more active in the second round as he compared to the first round. So maybe he's a little bit surprised of how comfortable McGregor looks. And I mean, what would happen if Conor McGregor wins? We can't even imagine, ladies and gentlemen. 2 rounds, 1 minute to go. My stream is being a disappointment, unfortunately. We spoke about it before. I'm one of those people who is not really a lucky person when it comes to streams. But bits and pieces, you gotta be happy with what you have, and if I wouldn't have the stream, I wouldn't be able to watch the fight at all. So I don't mind if it hangs a little bit here and there. Mayweather has an eye though. He's quick, he's fast. I wonder if that will frustrate McGregor. Again, we can talk all about it, or we can check. He looks very good in the ring, I have to say. He looks excellent so far, and I think he's the more active fighter. Some clinching going on. Conor McGregor holding on to Mayweather. A little hug there, but we're back to action. Swinging a miss by McGregor. It's not easy to hit that face of Mayweather, and some more hugging and clinching of Conor McGregor. He's not afraid to clinch, and I think that's where it gets uncomfortable for Mayweather, because you can build in a few things in boxing that the referee might not see, and that might not be completely up to the rules. But sometimes rules are more like guidelines. Yes, that is something that I learned from Pirates of the Caribbean. Doesn't apply to everything, but to many things in life. And we finished the second round. Now, I have to be honest, I'm a little bit scared to actually judge the first 2 rounds here, because I am not a judge, and I'm also not an expert or anything like that, but I like to talk out of my ass. But on the other hand, my stream has also been hanging a little bit, so there might be a few things that I missed, or maybe not. But from what I could see, I would say Conor McGregor looks good in the first 2 rounds, and I would give them both to him. But again, I'm missing bits and pieces here and there, so I could be completely wrong. But I think he looks very comfortable, and I'm gonna have a sip of coffee as the 3rd round is about to start. And once again, Conor McGregor pushes Mayweather in the corner, gets another warning for hitting the back of the head of Mayweather. My excuses for this little throat issue. That's why I was gonna have a sip of coffee. He keeps on doing that though. Every time Mayweather goes down and they're about to go into the clinch, McGregor throws those small punches to the back of the head of Mayweather. Now that's gonna cost him a point if he keeps on doing that, and it's tough to win by points against Mayweather as it is. And then if you get a point taken away, that makes it even harder. But it's crazy how comfortable McGregor looks in there. It's crazy. And I think he's only getting more comfortable as long as the fight goes. He's slowing down a little bit. Another sip of coffee. And I'm gonna turn my aircon off because I'm freezing my ass off. By the way, something that you should get used to here in Asia, that you go from tropic heat into Arctic winter, especially if you walk into 7-Eleven. And talking about 7-Eleven, something I figured out today when I walked in there this morning to get myself a apple pie, because I like apple pie. They're delicious. That's my 7-Eleven weakness, and banana milk. But that is not what I was thinking about when walking in there. I mean, that was exactly what I was thinking while walking in there, but you hear the beep opening all the time, bing, bing, and then the employees have to say hello, sawadee-kap, every time somebody walks in. And especially during rush hour, this happens every 2 seconds, and I would shoot the shit out of my brain if I would have to work there and do this each and every time, because they don't really have a choice. Even if you stock up your products somewhere in the back corner of the shop, you still need to scream Sawadee-Krap. I don't know if that's the same in every 7-Eleven around the world, or if that's just something that is done here in Bangkok, Thailand, the Venice of the East, as they call it, or Bangkok as the original name is. Well, the original name is actually 163 capitals long, and with that being said, yes, 163. It's the longest name of a main capital in the world, Bangkok. Now, if you ask me for the original name, the Thai version, which kids, by the way, have to learn in, of course, spelling and saying in school, I have no idea. You can research that on Google, you can do it yourself, because if you're listening, you most likely have a device that makes it possible for you to educate yourself instead of entertain yourself. We see a few replays here. Nice body shot by Mayweather, but also some nice landings by McGregor. McGregor is breathing. Of course, every human being on this planet is breathing. What I'm trying to say is it doesn't look like he is actually breathing heavily. So as we hit into round number 4, McGregor is quick on his feet at the beginning of the round, as in each one of the rounds so far, by pushing Mayweather against the ropes. Mayweather is signaling there, giving a signal there that the last shot was a little bit low. Also, the referee is making signs to Conor McGregor to keep it up a little bit. Was a little bit low. Mayweather is ducking a lot. It's not very comfortable for him. Very interesting fight so far. We are at the 2-minute mark of round number 4 out of 12. And a lot of people have been saying that Conor McGregor might gas. 12 rounds is heavy as it is. And 12 rounds throwing punches is even heavier. But a lot of boxing fans forget that kicking, grappling, wrestling, all this kind of stuff that you do in the cage or octagon is very heavy as well. And it's 5 minutes, so I think in the end you're a professional, you get paid a shitload of money, so cardio shouldn't really be a issue here for you. I'm gonna have another sip of my coffee. I have an iced coffee addiction. Every morning when I wake up, I go walk through the neighborhood to my coffee place. And something that is worrying me, I wanted to bring that up as well, is that we have a elderly home not far from here. I pass there every time I go somewhere, because it's on the way to the main road where you have all the scooter taxis and taxis and buses in order to get to the BTS or wherever you want to go. However, there's an elderly home, and every time in the morning I go get my coffee, because I wake up at the same time, or come back from my morning exercise in the park, there's an old lady sitting there, and I do some small talk with her every time I pass there. Now, I don't really speak fluent Thai. I speak broken bits and pieces here and there. However, I do what I can in order to lighten up her day a little bit, because when I pass there, she sits outside and she is watching the road like a theater. It's probably big entertainment for her, and I enjoy that. It's kind of the highlight of my day. What I'm trying to say is I haven't seen her very often since I came back from Macau, from Kuala Lumpur a week ago. So I'm a little bit worried. I hope she's doing well. Whatever your name is, wherever you are, you're probably not listening, but I just want to put it out there. I hope you're well, and I hope to see you again very soon on my way to the coffee shop. Round number 4 over. Again, a more active Conor McGregor. Mayweather, I don't know what he's doing. It looks a little bit like he is waiting for the later rounds. He lands one on Conor's chin right there, but so does Conor with the counter punch. Again, if you're watching the fight, let me know how you have it, what you think of the fight. As always, we have a chat section on the right hand side of the live stream. Go there, leave me some thoughts, leave me some ideas. Oh, and there we go again. Conor McGregor was trying to reach the chin, but a nicely placed counterpunch by Mayweather. Yeah, let me know where you have it, how you have it, what you think of the fight so far, and everything else that you want to be acknowledged for. You can type whatever you want to type. Be who you ever want to be. If you want to be one of those who just type for the sake of typing, then go ahead. Please do so. Round 5 started. 10 seconds in, 15 seconds in. For the first time, we see a different picture here at the beginning of the round. McGregor is taking it a little bit slower and Mayweather is getting a little bit more offense. Now that is something that could really worry me, how the people actually judge Conor McGregor. If he runs out of cardio, I think that would be a little bit embarrassing. Because again, you are an athlete, one of the best paid athlete after this fight, and you can't get your cardio up to 12 rounds. That would be the only thing that would be a little bit embarrassing. However, even if he hangs in there, I mean, we're almost halfway now of 12 rounds, round number 5. Almost there. If he survives 12 rounds, man, that's a victory, no matter if he gets the win or not. But he's keeping on doing this thing that he does in the octagon, where he's just not really jabbing, but he's just testing his length, his distance. It's weird. It's weird to see, because it kind of puts your hands down and you want to keep your hands up against Mayweather. He's a fast motherfucker, even though he hasn't knocked somebody out in a very long time. Stream, throw. Oh, we are back and we are clinching, hugging, head to head. Referee is doing a good job so far. I wonder if it would really break all the numbers of the Pacquiao fight. Conor is doing a good job in ducking punches as well, though. But he looks like he is starting to breathe heavily. It seems to be a classic Conor McGregor. We saw this in the Nate Diaz fight, and even though he was in a higher weight class, it's something that shouldn't happen to you. You have all the time in the world to prepare for this fight. And it looks to me... Oh! Mayweather just landed. Mayweather is doing a good job. He's getting better into the game, just as I predicted. Talking out of my ass. But I enjoy it. It's fun. I like podcasting and I like watching fights. And combining the two of those is not as easy as it might sound. Something I learned since I started our phone companion episodes, where I call up friends, athletes, coaches, or some other people who are involved in the world of mixed martial arts, talk the fights while we watch them. Since everything is a little bit further away here in Southeast Asia, we don't really have the chance of actually doing it live on location. We actually call each other up. But as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, the studio is about to come back. We have been without a studio for I don't know for how many episodes. I think almost 25 episodes without a studio. But not a problem. Sorry, I had to burp there. I tried to make it undercover, but I couldn't hide it. I couldn't deny it. About to head into round number 6. finish my thought. Studio about to come. Yes, it is about to come, a new studio. Loads of other things are about to happen. As I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, I was supposed to go to a place, to a restaurant, to a bar to watch this fight, but I worked so late last night that I actually couldn't really make it there this morning. And then just decided to start this spontaneous podcast. So I'm working on a lot of stuff. Once again, Conor McGregor is getting a little warning here because he keeps on getting on the back of the head of Mayweather. But in Germany we have a saying, punches on the back of the head increases your intelligence. So maybe it helps Mayweather a little bit. Yeah, so to come to the point, loads of things are about to happen in September and October. And then, of course, normally I always do the same mistake. I announce stuff to put pressure on myself. Oi, Conor McGregor just got one there, but he also gave. If you give, you gotta take. If you can take, you can give. So yeah, I don't want to over talk myself, but we are about to have a new shop with new shirt designs. We are changing our t-shirt concept a little bit. If you are a regular listener or follower, had to change my sitting position there. If you're a regular listener or follower, you know my t-shirts that I did with my photographs, and they have been popular so far, and they have also been delivered to all over the world, to people in Madagascar, to people in the United States, here in Asia, Australia, Japan, Germany, Sweden, Europe, of course, and even Russia. Maybe it was Putin himself who ordered himself a Surrounded by Details t-shirt. With that being said, be a Putin, get yourself a SBD t-shirt. Now, if that was not a awesome plug, I don't know what it was. Looking forward to share all the new designs with you. We're gonna have so many. It's gonna be huge. Huge. Many designs are about to come, and also the new concept. I'm in love with it. I can't wait to share it with you. So that's how you can support the Surrounded by Details podcast. You can go on my website and go to the shop once that is open, but it is not yet. So in order to keep yourself up to date, do yourself a favor, go on www.stevebonhage.com, stevbonhage.com, where you can find all the photography work that I do for One Championship, for Red Bull, and for many others. Once again, Conor McGregor is having his hands on his back, posing, having a good fight, even though you can see some marks on his face, but so you can on Mayweather. It is to many a surprise, I believe, the fight that is happening here. Conor McGregor is looking really good. It doesn't look like a debut at all, and he is looking good against one of the greatest of all time, Floyd Mayweather. And this jab, Conor McGregor is having some good time with his jab, landing once in a while, and doing a good job also in being active, but he's also getting hit. Countering. He's still looking comfortable, enjoying the fight. Looks a little bit better. Breathing. Of course, everybody needs to breathe once in a while. Talking about breathing, go and check out the podcast episode with Pepe Arcos. Let me see which one this was. A freedive filmmaker, photographer, and freediving athlete as well. I believe we had episode, let me see, 117. Let me check that for you because I don't want to give you any wrong information, even though that might happen once in a while. Round number 6, Mayweather McGregor. We are 2:30 of the 7th round. We are a little bit more than halfway. Will Conor McGregor make it all 12 rounds, or will he even knock out Mayweather? Because I don't believe Mayweather can knock out Conor McGregor, but again, that could be complete bullshit. But what I'm trying to say here is the last time we saw Mayweather knocking somebody out was a long time ago. With all the happiness that is in my body right now, going around in my body right now. It makes me really happy that all the pre-fight discussions and videos are finally over, because after a while it is the same thing over and over again, and I don't say that in any bad means, because I'm podcasting right now and I know that I repeat myself. It's a hard thing to do, especially when you run out of facts or information. You need to keep the crowd entertained. So yeah, I'm quite happy that this fight is actually going down sooner rather than later. Before it was announced, it kind of felt like this is going to be a massive build-up. There's going to be, I don't know, 6 months of training and all this kind of stuff. But it actually happened quite fast. Yeah, but the worst is about to come. That is the post-fight interviews. Not only interviews, but also analyses and all this kind of stuff. There will be a lot of people talking Mayweather and a lot of people talking McGregor, because that is what the fight looks right now. It doesn't really look obvious for one of them. It is a nice fight. Sounds so weird, but it is a good fight in my opinion. But I'm also easily entertained without any further knowledge, so it's not hard to entertain me with fighting. And to come back to the episode with Pepe Arcos, excuse me, my throat, that is a sign for another sip of coffee. Episode number 107, and once you're there, you can also listen to the one with Imran Mughal, episode number 108. The guy who bikes around the world, experienced everything, had a gun to his head. Many great episodes back there at the beginning of the 100. Episode 131, this one it is, and I have to say, I'm a little bit sad for that it's not as much recording in August as I was planning to, but there is a lot of stuff happening. I was in Macau for one championship, then a week later I was in Kuala Lumpur for one championship, and now I have a week and a half break before it's on to Shanghai. Then there's another week of break, and then it's most likely Jakarta. So yeah, it's hard to organize everything between those event travels all over Asia. And as I say that, I see a replay, Mayweather nailing it into Conor McGregor's face. Mayweather's looking chill. His daddy's looking chill. His dad looks fly. Now that was a pretty wide comment. McGregor still looks good, but he looks like he is breathing heavily. And it looks like he has a little bit more damage on his face than Mayweather. Here we go. Round number 8. 3 more minutes. Almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Mayweather is having his shit together. A few people thought that he might take that too easy, because he was at a strip club at night and giving interviews and crashing TV interviews and all this kind of stuff. He was having fun, he was rollerblading. A lot of people thought he was taking it too easy. But when you're 40 years old and you're 49-0, you know that you gotta stick to your rhythm. And he said that his rhythm is later. He wakes up afternoon and then spends most of the night working at a strip club, which is a pretty good work to have, let's be honest here. And then you go to bed in the morning. So there is a different rhythm, and I mean also the fight is quite late over in the States, while it began around 11 AM here in Southeast Asia, here in Bangkok, where we are in the time zone of GMT plus 7, Singapore GMT plus 8. And yeah, I don't want to introduce you to all the time zones. If you have been listening once again to my podcast before, you know that I recently had some issues with actually sticking to the time zones, because I don't have the automatic time zone on my phone. I like to do that by myself, and sometimes and that is also one of the reasons why I don't have it on automatically, is because sometimes it's having trouble to change if you have your airplane mode on, which I most likely have if I go to another country. I don't buy a new SIM card every time, I just have it on airplane mode, and people can reach me over the Facebook app or WhatsApp or whatever it is, because I'm in the hotel editing pictures most of the time where I have Wi-Fi. With that being said, I don't have the automatic mode on. Short story long. So yeah, I forgot to switch it back when I came back here to Bangkok, so I was 1 hour ahead, and as I mentioned before, my friend Antoine Chirard is in town because one of his mates is getting married, and before they headed down to the island we were all playing football, and then I showed up at what I believed was 9 PM, but nobody was there. Until I realized 9:30 that football is probably not gonna happen, and then I received a call from Antoine, and he said, "Hey, why are you there so early?" And I said, "Yeah, man, it's 30 minutes late." And he said, "Did you look at your watch?" Sorry, I had to burp once again. And I said, "Yes, I did." And then he said, "Well, it's 8:30." And I said, "No, it's 9:30 on my phone." And I realized that the time zone hadn't been changed by myself on my phone, because who else would do that for me? It's my phone. So I forgot it, I fucked up, but it was a fun experience. And as always, the most important thing in life is that you have to be able to laugh about yourself. A lot of people get annoyed by that, or get angry when other people laugh about you. I always enjoy it, because if I can't make myself laugh, then I enjoy the fact that I can make other people laugh. And it doesn't really matter out of what reason it really is, as long as they laugh, I did a good thing. Consciously or not consciously. Once again, Conor McGregor's corner looks awesome with the vests on, with the white shirts and the ties. I really think that is a cool thing they did there. Some words, Conor looks like he is breathing heavily. Mayweather is coming out of his corner very, I don't know how to finish that sentence. Looks a little bit more better. Looks a little bit better. Doesn't breathe as heavily as Conor McGregor does. And again, I have to say, I can't really score the fight because my stream is lagging a little bit here and there, and then I also do the podcast, so I might not always pay the attention to the fight as I should. With that being said, I think it's actually quite a good fight. It's not boring, it's not dirty, even though Conor McGregor keeps on doing these small punches on Mayweather's back of the head when Mayweather is going down, ducking the punches. But both are countering, both are landing. Again, let me know what you think in the comment section that is available on our live stream. Coffee time. Round number 9. 1:45 to go on the clock. He's almost there. He's almost surviving against Mayweather. But that will be a perfect setup. I mean, let's look ahead a little bit, even though I don't like to be ahead of myself. Conor McGregor in trouble here. Mayweather putting on the pressure, and pressure on my live stream because it's freezing. It's only pictures, and it doesn't look really good for Conor McGregor. But we are back in action. Conor McGregor for the first time backed up in the corner of the ring, which in reality is a square. And Mayweather is having fun. Ooh, Conor McGregor is leaning against the ropes. Bouncing against the ropes, I should say. What is going on? Oh, it looks like it's Mayweather. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, my stream is hacking a little bit, but what I can see is that almost looked like Conor McGregor was going for a takedown there. Conor McGregor looks very tired, backed up in the corner of the ring. Now turn it around. Mayweather is pushing his face down. McGregor looks gassed, ladies and gentlemen. He looks gassed, and he doesn't have his hands up, which is not the smartest thing to do against Mayweather. This round is clearly going to Mayweather. Conor McGregor is going around walking around trying to escape, but Mayweather is pushing the pressure on. And even though we only have 10 seconds to go on the clock here, it is about to happen, round number 10. But is Conor McGregor gonna make, is he gonna make 12 rounds? Because round number 9 didn't look good at all for the Irishman. He was backed up into the corner of the ring for the first time, and he looks very tired. His corner is talking to him, still in a positive way, but I think Conor McGregor knows that he has somehow to survive the next 2 rounds. I don't believe that he will be able to win this fight, because if we saw round number 9, it's not looking like he is gonna dominate round 10 and 11 and 12. He also got hit very bad here in round number 9. So I think we can start to assume that Mayweather is having this. He looks fresh, he looks good, he's doing his thing. It's very, very likely that it's gonna be 50-0 unless, and this is what I like about fighting, McGregor can land this left hand, or he catches a second wind like he did in McGregor versus Nate Diaz 2, where he looked like he was doing the same mistake as in the first fight, and then he got caught a second wind and was just going. And Mayweather is doing a very smart thing here at the beginning of round number 10, staying composed, having his hands up, clinching a little bit, and then starting to put pressure on Conor McGregor, because again he looked very gassed. A quick combination with the right hook there didn't hit the target, and back to it. Mayweather doing his thing, and now we slowly, oh no, some more clinching. A small little elbow there by Mayweather. I don't know if anybody saw that, but he kind of slipped off, and he lands again on Conor McGregor, and again, and Conor is trying to hold on to Mayweather. It doesn't look good. It does not look good for Conor McGregor until round number 9, and now it looks like he starts to gas. Can he survive round number 10? 2 minutes on the clock to go in round number 10. Almost there. And my stream is hacking. I see a Mayweather looking into the crowd, and is it? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Money Mayweather won the fight by knockdown. Conor McGregor, wow, looks kind of tired. I missed what actually happened here. Of course that had to happen. To me, that sucks. Mayweather won, however, 50-0, ladies and gentlemen, winner of the money belt. I'm waiting for the replay to see what happened, as I would guess from what I could see was that Conor McGregor was pressured too much. He got hit a couple of times there by Mayweather, and then I imagine that the knockdown eventually happened. I have to wait for the replay here. However, Mayweather looks happy, smiling. Conor McGregor looks a little bit confused. They are hugging each other. They are giving each other props, but there is still security around. But it looked to me again like Conor McGregor was getting gassed. That seems to be an issue with Conor McGregor. Is that something that has to be is relatable? I don't even know if that's a word. Relatable to the weight cut, to the up and down, because Conor McGregor, he's comes from 145, then goes up to 170, then 155, now 150 it was, I believe, or whatever his weight was. But there's a lot of up and down. Does that affect the cardio, or is that just me having not enough knowledge about fighting? But it comes down to what I said. I mean, he got hit a couple of times, of course. Round number 10 was the end for Conor McGregor against Mayweather, who's now 50-0. But he was looking good there for a couple of rounds. But I guess that is what boxing is. It is not 3 rounds, it's not 5 rounds, it is 12 rounds. And here we go again. Mayweather pressures Conor McGregor into the corner, and then on the way out, he lands a right overhand. Conor McGregor tries to clinch, but then Mayweather wasn't having it, pushing him back, keeping on pressuring, lands another vicious right. My stream is on hold again. I only see pictures. It breaks the same moment. Ah, there we go. And here it's back, lands another one, and then another one, and Conor. It was an early stoppage though by the referee, I have to say. But it looked like if it doesn't happen in that case, it would have happened in another minute. However, here we see it again. Left, right, all on target. And the target of Mayweather was McGregor's face. Did a great job though, I have to be honest. And now we are facing what I have feared since this fight was announced. The post-fight analyze. There's gonna be a lot of shit talk, a lot of trash talk, but you gotta give it to McGregor. 10 rounds against one of the greatest fighters in boxing, Mayweather, with no whatsoever professional experience. 10 rounds. He was looking good the first couple of rounds. It might also be because Mayweather did his thing. He knew what was coming, that a fight in boxing lasts 12 rounds and not 3 or 5. So Mayweather wins his 50th victory, his 50th W by stoppage in round number 10. That is most likely, very likely, the very last fight of Mayweather. We can only imagine what is gonna be next for Conor McGregor. I mean, we have Ferguson versus Lee happening at the end of the year. Or think, is it in New York? I haven't really checked that out yet, I have to see. However, Ferguson is fighting Lee. That's gonna be for the interim title. And who knows, maybe Conor McGregor said that he would fight in the UFC again at the end of the year, or is he just waiting for another boxing match? What is his name? I'm trying to Google his name. Just a second. I'm trying to find the name. So, yes, there we go. So, is it gonna be the UFC next, or is Conor McGregor gonna stay in boxing? Because we know that Paulie Malignani, or however you say his name, I know I'm butchering his name here, but I don't care. They kind of set up a fight already. I mean, I don't know. You don't know if that is planned from the very beginning, because it looks so stupid. You go there to train with a guy, then you get your ass beaten as much as the video tells. We don't know if that's all the story. And then there's a lot of talking about release all of the footage. But I have to agree, and it doesn't happen often because I'm not a big fan. I don't know. I haven't watched him in a while, so maybe it's better now. But after he left the UFC and went into stand-up comedy and podcasting, Brandon Sharp was talking a lot out of his ass. But you should give everybody a second chance. Maybe I should check in on what he is doing again. However, he said it best: if they would release all the footage, we wouldn't have ourselves a fight. So with Conor saying that he's gonna compete in both boxing and MMA, we are most likely facing a Conor McGregor that is gonna fight the interim title winner between Ferguson and Lee, and then keeps on going to the next fight with Paulie, who is next in line for a boxing match. I mean, that makes most of the sense because of all the beef that is going on there. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, there is not much more to say for me, because I don't want to analyze the fight for you guys too much, because I know there's going to be millions and millions and maybe even thousands of videos. I said millions and millions, and then maybe even thousands. If there are millions of videos, there's most likely gonna be thousands. There's 100% gonna be 1,000, because 1,000 comes before a million. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I don't really have anything more to say to you, because it is Sunday. It is Sunday, almost afternoon. It's gonna be a lovely Sunday. I'm gonna go back to work so I can keep my word and present all those beautiful t-shirt designs that are about to happen and that are about to pop up on our shop on www.stevebonhage.com, STEVBONHAGE. So I'm gonna leave you all alone. Before I do that, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening to me for 1 hour and 20 minutes without any whatsoever knowledge about boxing, but I had a blast watching the fight and talking into the mic and having a few listeners while I was doing so. If you're on iTunes, Podbean, SoundCloud, Stitcher, or wherever where you can download all our episodes for free, please don't forget to follow, subscribe, leave us a comment, like, dislike, do whatever you have to do, be whoever you want to be. If you want to be one of those who just type for the sake of typing, I repeat myself, be one of those too. I don't mind. But what I'm trying to say here is, if you want all my social media links, then please switch to YouTube and go below into the description section where you can find all the links. Once again, you can find me on iTunes, Podbean, SoundCloud, Stitcher, where you can download all the podcast episodes for free, audio only, but it is for free, so shut the fuck up and enjoy them and download all the other ones, because we had some really good ones. And if you're not really into downloading my podcast, if you just want to follow my photography or the podcast or behind the scenes, or maybe even all behind the scenes, just go on my social media such as Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, of course all in the same name, Steve Bonhage. Again, STEVBONHAGE. Give me a follow, give me a subscribe, give me a dislike or give me a like. Do whatever you need to do. I keep on repeating myself. And if all that is not your thing, just go to my website for the last time, www.stevebonhage.com, STEVBONHAGE. I think I said it often enough. And with that being said, let me just plug one more thing here, because we will be back on Tuesday, 6 p.m. Bangkok time, and that means that it will be 1 o'clock Europe time. Bangkok, 6 p.m. equals 1 o'clock Europe, because we will have a very, very special guest on the podcast, and I'm talking about nobody less. Let me pick up the event page here on Facebook, because he is Thai and he is a huge fishing fanatic and also a TV host for Discovery Channel Asia and Discovery Channel Southeast Asia. And I'm looking forward to talk to him. He got introduced to me by Brian Bartush, episode 129. Looking forward to talk to him, because I always enjoyed fishing with my dad, and I haven't been fishing for a very long time. So my goal is to try to convince him to take me on a fishing trip on the beautiful ocean of the Gulf of Thailand. And of course, I'm talking about nobody less than Oz Sithiupon Shanarat from Discovery Channel Asia. Tuesday, August 29th, 6 p.m. Bangkok time, GMT +7. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience to listen to my voice. I see you all on Tuesday, and that's it for me. I'm out.